Hello. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Welcome to it. Welcome back to it. I'm Jane, otherwise known as Jane the Guide, guiding people through our collective ascension. I feel like I'm like super close up on the camera today, but surprise, this is me close up. Anyway, I wanted to hop on here briefly to share something that is coming up in a very now way. So we are in some new moon energy. It's like Gemini season, and I am, like many people, experiencing or witnessing, living through duality like whoa. Whether it's being aware of anger and frustration, and yet in the awareness feeling peace around it. Living in a dualistic reality of mask, no mask, right? COVID being real or not real, people being right, you're wrong. The duality of our nature is coming up to be put right in front of us. And I feel like now is a really good time to move through it with a really neutral eye. So let me move this. Wobble, wobble. So this is what I want to share around this. So here's the thing about duality. It's there. It is. It's polarity. And it's so interesting. And this is where my version of duality comes in, because I see polarity, right? I see like the north and the south poles, this like high vibe, low vibe, different levels of consciousness, good, bad, right? Light, dark, whatever words that separate opposing ends, different poles to this reality. And in this dualistic thing that we will see these two ends as being two completely separate things, sometimes we forget that it's on the one piece. That this North Pole and South Pole, for example, although they may be pulling differently and being very different from each other, it's on the same magnet. And that in itself is a very dualistic, to me, a very dualistic perception of two ends on one thing. It's like, anyway. And as we move through this dualistic awareness, bringing back to mind and calling back in the remembrance that we are one, that I am one. I am one human, and I will feel sadness and joy. And I could feel them bouncing around so close to being almost at the same time. In my one human, I am made to experience so many different emotions. And I am no longer able to hold them in my body. The old program was feel emotion, shove it down, right? And then it would manifest in our body and we would become ill, cancers, tumors, muscle pains, aches, discomfort, dis-ease. It would manifest in emotional issues, right? We would be depressed, anxious, this, that, the other. Pick a label. And as we continue to move forward with a higher vibrational consciousness flowing through us, we cannot let emotions sit. It doesn't work. It doesn't compute. So I've been talking with a lot of people and I've had my own experiences around anger and just frustration with myself for feeling frustration. And then I get more frustrated and I'm like, oh, but I know better. And I get that so much. If I were to shove down that frustration though, that's when I start to not only become unwell, but I'm going to use these words and they're not technically true, but you'll get what I mean. That's when I start to unclick from this higher vibrational consciousness and I drop down into a third dimensional consciousness, one that is stifling, that is stagnant, that is hiding, that is in fear of releasing. A lot of times, as many of us have had feelings and emotions of anger and sadness and depression and these human things that if you've lived in the program, you've been force-fed the things that feed those programs, those parasites. So when we kind of clear those things, those traumas, we make amends, we move through it, we're not supposed to feel anger anymore. But I just want to say, yeah, you are. Like, it's okay. Like, you can feel anger. I can feel anger. What I choose to do with it now is creating not only my new path, it's implementing the new paradigm that's coming in through my embodiment. So when I feel anger, for example, I don't hold it in. I let it out. Now, before, when I would let out anger, well, it would be abuse to myself, first and foremost. Drugs, cutting, some self-harm. Or I would lash out onto others around me, whether it was just me being venomous in my words or just being unkind or physically harming people. That was my go-to. So of course, now if I feel anger, I'm going to have this underlying fear of, I don't want to let it out because last time I let it out, it hurt humans. I don't want to hurt humans anymore. So I'll just shove it in. The way we can move through it now as higher vibrational consciousness beings is that we can, one, acknowledge it, call it out. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling grief. I'm feeling really confused, whatever it is, calling it out by identifying it. And then letting it move through us. So that may mean like just looking at myself in the mirror and just like, yeah, I'm mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I am so mad. And eventually the tears may start to flow, or I might start to laugh at myself. And either way, I'm transmuting and alchemizing that original feeling. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad, but I'm also not stuffing it in, because that's when it comes out like the Jack in the Box. Living through this dualistic awareness time as the observer is getting us through it with more grace and ease, for sure. And I just want to put the reminder out that we are supposed to feel these things, y'all. We're supposed to feel anger. But how can we now let it flow through us in light? How can I let doubt flow through me in joy? How can I let grief flow through me with compassion surrounding it? How can I hold the container of my emotions that I am feeling that are ready to bubble and boil over? I'm not going to keep popping the lid on it because it'll explode and then my face burns off like the toxic Avenger. And I don't want that. That's not cute. I don't want to. But that's what I've been picking up on very lately. That we are made to feel emotions for reals. And it's all good. And that's the message that's been coming in loud and clear that I want to share. That it's okay to feel what you're feeling. How you feel around it will make a world of difference. Do you feel around it judgmental? Oh, I shouldn't feel anger. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling that. Or does it make you angry to feel grief over a loss that you had, in the past or another lifetime? I shouldn't be feeling sad anymore. It's so gone. It's so over. I'm over that. How do we hold the container for our emotions? That is how we live as a oneness in a dualistic nature, a polarized nature, a chaotic reality, a friction-based reality where everything is bumping up next to each other. Opinions, perspectives, emotions, thoughts, everything's just bumping into each other. So how do I hold the container of that chaos? Can I hold it with loving arms? Can I hold it like it's a small baby that just has all this to let out, and all it needs to do is just scream or cry or let out this giant baby poop? I find it so interesting that during all of this COVIDicus stuff, that toilet paper has been the thing that's been like, nobody has any. And it just cracks me up because I feel like during this time, we've had all this time for all of our subconscious shit to come up. And how ironic that we would manifest a reality where we can't where we don't have as much access to toilet paper to deal with our own shit. Y'all, you can't make this up. It's so funny to me. But anyway, I would like to offer just the reminder that you are a spiritual being. You are love and light. You are source, sound, and energy. And you are a heavy, third-dimensional density human. And that you get to, in every now moment, bring those dualistic natures together in a container called you, called your body, your vessel. That's what you get to do. You get to integrate them. You get to merge them together. And you get to start creating the new earth reality where we don't shame grief and guilt and judgment. We don't shame those things. We don't feel ashamed for feeling them. But we love that we can feel them, and we allow ourselves to feel them and let them flow through us while holding them in a conscious container of perhaps grace or acceptance or love or joy. The fact that we can feel so much of these negative emotions is a gift. When we're not in this body anymore, we cannot feel like we feel. We can't feel heartache. We can't feel a stomach ache. We can't hug ourselves. Oh, shit, we can't really hug many people right now during COVIDicus, but you know what I mean? Like, we can't touch. We can't, we can't make sounds like clapping. We can't sing. We don't have a voice box. Vocal cords. It's not really a box. You know what I mean? But it's such a gift to be a human, especially when we remember that it's a gift to be a human and that we can feel shit and we can be confused and unclear, that we can and it's okay, and that our time on this earth is limited. We are here for a limited time only. Whether we have another life after this or not, it doesn't matter. Because one, now's the only thing that's real and happening. And two, this is the only time that you will have this body. Whether you love your body and you celebrate it every day, or you hate it and you wish it were different in every single way, we can choose to make the most of it, to use it to our highest good and advantage, that we can use it to move throughout and share inspiration and share love and embody compassion so that we may at least inspire others to do the same or similar in their own unique way of doing it. This is the limited time only and the eternal now. So that's the duality, that we are eternally now, forever. And at the same time, it's limited and it's almost over. It's a blink, it's a blip, it's a breath. So that's what I wanted to hop on here and share during this Gemini energy vibe with, like, y'all, it's some big energy movement right now. I know a lot of people are feeling the physical energy moving through their body. It has given me energy to create. So I've been creating all day, doing like website stuff, scheduling appointments, just like creating. And it's been feeling so good. And at the same time, I'm kind of still in like loungy clothes and I'm feeling super duper like lazy and comfy and snuggly on a gray, rainy day. I'm living a dualistic experience, not judging either of them, rather embracing both of them and going with the flow with both of them. So I would encourage whatever medicine you get from this galactic dance that's happening to take it into heart as a gift and see where you can expand your perspective and your perception of everything that is around you and within. Just see if you can see it as a neutral observer and see how you can hold the container, the full container of your body, your mind, and your spirit in a very loving, compassionate, safe, trusting vessel, container. Because as we do that, we start to feel solid, we feel safe, we feel grounded. When we feel that groundedness, we start to root in and anchor into the new earth consciousness, so that when we start to walk up amongst this earth plane, it's like we have a lightness to our step. We are anchored in. It's harder for us to fall back. So that when we do start to feel feelings of sadness, we don't get as fearful of going down the rabbit hole into the depression that almost killed me before. Rather, we'll feel the depression. We're like, oh, I feel depressed right now. I'm so grateful that I get to. I know it's temporary. Oh God, it's only temporary. I'm not going to feel depressed forever. Next thing you know, we start to just climb out of it because we're so anchored into Christ consciousness, that super high vibrational frequency consciousness of unconditional love and acceptance for all that is, even in its polarization. So that's what I wanted to share. I hope that everyone is enjoying their nows in whatever way you're seeing your life experience. If you have any questions or need some support, you can click on one of the links below, or you can go to my website, which is janetheguide.com, and you can find different, like my podcast and where I am on the radio, on iHeartRadio, and you can find other ways to tune in to all that I'm offering in this like quantum spirituality realm, where I'm talking about all the things that I talk about on this platform. I tend to talk about like what's going on in the collective and the cosmos and how that is working for our embodiment. So the other platforms are similar because they're all me, right? But they're all going to be a little bit different. You know, I'm sharing some personal stories like, hey, this is what happened to me today. And this is the relationship that I'm in. And this is how plant medicine works for me and all those fun things, so that I can maintain like a healthy, what I consider to be healthy, you know, lacking sickness, basically, a healthy mental body and a healthy physical body and a healthy emotional body, and hopefully a super healthy and expansive spiritual body. So if you would like any more information on what I offer, you can go to, again, my website, janetheguide.com. Until then, keep enjoying your nows. Take big, deep breaths, y'all. Breathe. Just breathe. Be with you. Be with your breath. Be with your body. Be with your thoughts. Hold them all in a safe container. You deserve to be held with safety. And it's safe for you to do so now. You got this. You're anchored in. We're anchored into this new reality. I don't know about y'all, but I've been seeing different potential timelines play out between vaccines and who's really benefiting from it and who does it really harm, and all of those things. And I see how polarized these realities can be. And it's like, wow, we can grow into this beautiful utopic life, and we can grow down into a heavier density of what feels like 1984. I've seen both of them, and they're both viable options. I want this one. I want the utopia. I want the heaven on earth. I want the communal living where we all are stewards for each other and the land, and we're all taken care of. And that money isn't the only thing in the world that we find important, but that we find nature important and love important and like life on earth important, because it is, and we're a part of it. And I feel like we're all really kind of important. But if we can keep focus on that vision, right? That heart vision, We can stay anchored into that new earth and really grow and cultivate that vision. So there will still be polarity, there will still be chaos. But what reality do we want to be living in as we continue to move forward? It's always a choice, and that choice starts off with how we perceive what's around us, what we're feeling. Are we judging it? Are we accepting it? Are we neutral? Are we caring about ourselves and others? How are we showing up? How are we being in the world? So set your vision. Be aware of all of the name calling and the I'm right, you're wrong, and what team are you on? I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. I don't like politics. Politics are great. Whatever. Have your preference and honor the preference of everyone else's. Then you start to just see the polarity as that neutral, balanced, aligned being. So hopefully that is medicine for this Gemini season and any other now that anyone watches this. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, enjoy every single now that you remember that it is temporary. So I love you all so much. Thank you again for tuning in and checking this out. I look forward to seeing you all again. Peace out, y'all. Bye.